IGN Rewind Theater is presented by Remember Me. Coming to consoles and PC June 4th. Remix memories, change the world.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Batman Rewind Theater for Arkham Origins, the Deathstroke trailer. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the Big Cheese himself, Steve Butts.
Oh my gosh, Big Cheese.
I know, that's a good title for you, right?
Nice. Yeah.
Now, Steve, while you were gone, you actually went and played this game.
I played Batman Arkham Origins. You might say I was Batman.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there's been a lot of people saying they're Batman with this game.
Right.
So how is it, first and foremost? Is it good? Do people have to worry?
Well, the good news is if you liked Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, this is that same game.
Okay,
right?
great.
But the setting's a little different. There's some new tweaks, some new gimmicks, but they haven't really done a lot to change what you got the last time around.
Well,
which
that's
for
good,
me
there's
is
a lot of
Batman
concern,
fan.
right? Yeah, a lot of concern with the developer switching.
Exactly.
Now it's Warner Brothers Montreal, not Rocksteady. While you were gone, Andrew Goldfarb and I took the 10-second teaser trailer and turned that into a 14-minute rewind.
I saw that thing was very long.
Ladies and gentlemen, we won't go that long. Hopefully, at least with the same facts you know. Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
It's in Gotham City, open world. Here's a good look at Gotham. We have Wayne Tower there with its little red emblem with the W circle over there. That's nice. We go a little bit further, though. We come over. Did they talk about what's happening? I know the article we had read in Game Informer, right, talked about a new Gotham and stuff like that, and it being separated by that bridge over there, a new island to explore. I'm assuming here, Dixon Docks, I'm assuming also named for Chuck Dixon, one of the famed Batman writers. This must be happening on New Gotham? Do you know anything about the docks?
Yeah, there's going to be a larger world you can explore here, and there's also going to be some fast travel systems as well. I don't think you're going to get the full-on like Batmobile, Batwing type experience that you want, but I think that is going to be referenced somehow in the way you travel among these locations.
Yeah, the way they've talked about it before with the Batwing, right? I'm assuming it's just that I kind of like Dark Knight, shoot something into the air, it picks me up, and I just wake up in the next area.
I think it's going to be a cutscene type deal.
Gotcha. Well, here we have some guys jumping out. They're all wearing masks. We'll get a good look here in a second. There it is. Whoop. Black mask.
Oh, that is a black mask.
Now, I'm assuming this is like Arkham City was, right? And even Arkham Asylum to an extent. But Arkham City where there was like the Two-Face gang, so they wore Two-Face masks, and there was a Joker gang, and they painted their faces. This Black Mask is the character who's at the whole top of this arc, right, of what's happening here.
Exactly, yeah. The whole idea behind the setting here is that it's Christmas Eve in Gotham, although it's weird because it looks like it's December 25th in this trailer. And Black Mask has put out a hit on Batman.
Okay.
And so 8 assassins have come to Gotham to kill the Batman, and I think he's offering a reward of like $50 million.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot
I'd try to do it.
Exactly.
I mean, he's already a vigilante, especially at this point. You're working with Captain Gordon. The
Yeah,
GCPD isn't out to protect you.
Right.
Real quick, I'm assuming the calendar is just to let everybody know what time of year it is. Is it? You think it's possible it's a reference to Calendar Man?
It might be. It might be. We actually asked, hey, are you going to get anything special if you play this game on Christmas Eve? Because you know in Arkham Asylum you got some cool stuff if you logged in on certain holidays.
Arkham City, right?
Arkham City, yeah, but the developers weren't willing to talk about that at all.
Wow, what a bunch of jerks. Look at these guys keep going. Fuse breaks. Oh no. Go investigate it. Sure.
He just tosses that gun. He's like, here, just
whatever. Go check it out.
Hand me the gun. Like
so now this took us a second to do. I watched this on the IGN player. It was so small I couldn't tell.
Right.
But this guy Batman nails this guy's face into it. And if you notice, he has that flashlight in his mouth.
This is so bad.
And so he still does right there with his broken teeth. It's inside his mouth clearly. It's all tucked up. You know how when you put a flashlight to your hand.
Right.
Gross.
This is like Heath Ledger's disappearing pencil trick.
Exactly.
In the movie,
Good reference. Good reference, Steve. This is why I brought you in here. All right, so then this guy goes over here, grab through. I'm guessing stealth takedowns are still going to be a big part of this, right?
Yep.
Challenge rooms. Did you get to see some of that? Like in challenge rooms of the past ones, they had you busting through walls and from underneath the grates and whatnot.
We saw a little bit of that stuff. The more the stuff we really saw though was around the new grappling mechanics for your grapple gun.
Oh, I think we see some of that coming up, so we'll talk about that in a second. Now, Steve, if you ever get sucked down a hole, I promise not to come up and shoot into the hole you just got pulled down into.
Right.
Possibly the worst thing you could possibly do.
It's awful.
Now here, all right. So somebody on Twitter accused Batman of breaking this guy's neck. But as you see, Batman actually headbutts him. It just happens very quickly.
Yeah. It's like he kind of gives him a little kiss, too.
Like
a little good night. Night-night. Here's one thing I'll say, though. Right, so look at this Batman. They said that this is sort of the formative period in Batman's career, right? He's been Batman for just a couple of years. People still think of him as kind of a myth, and like you said, the cops don't know what to think of him.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird that he's so kitted out here, right? I expected like a more low-tech version of this guy than we saw in Arkham City.
Right, and that's something we've noticed too, and we get a good shot of it later on. I can actually jump to it here, is that the suit is much more like the Dark Knight movie, right? Like Dark Knight the second movie in the Batman Begins franchise,
right,
where it's like got that, it's broken up by plates and held together by mesh, which I think is a cool look. But yeah, when they talked about this being, you know, oh, it's his origin story, him coming of age kind of thing, you expected it to be a lot more like, all right, I'm in just like a onesie running around like when the booty's beating it up. But
I got my Batman underoos on.
It's interesting that they told you, like from what you saw, that it's actually a few years into his career. I wasn't sure how far we had come along.
I think they said 2 years.
2 years.
So he's been Batman for about 2 years at this point in the story.
It's one of the, looking at it, and I know this is obviously just a blurred trailer, not really representative of gameplay, but he looks leaner to me. You know what I mean? Like the Batman before, he had taller ears, a more hulked out body. Did you notice playing? Did he seem lighter on his feet? Did he move more?
No, he moved about the same. I mean, he's just as responsive as he was before. But you're right. Visually, he's very different. He doesn't have like that Neil Adams thing with like the big ears, and the giant floating cape.
Now, before we jump any further, we'd be remiss if we didn't point out Queen Industries. A beautiful little touch to Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow, the Green Toolbox.
Right.
I'd love to see him pop up in this, and hopefully, after all the success he got in Injustice of being a cool character. Now, here, I don't think this guy knows how bombs work. Not Batman, but the Deathstroke. He sets up a bomb that goes to 0, but then goes back to 4.
Right.
And then still takes a long time to explode. But you pointed out this is a Year 1 homage.
Yeah. This shot right here in particular, it reminds me of one of the panels from the excellent Frank Miller, Dave Mazzucchelli Year 1 comic book, where Batman actually they set off a bunch of explosives in this abandoned building, and he comes leaping out the window. And this, to me, I haven't checked the reference, but it looks like basically the same composition.
Gotcha. Of course, though, this is where Deathstroke is revealed. He yells down at Batman. Deathstroke, as we talked about with Goldfarb the other day. Make sure you watch another rewind to the theater. Slade Wilson. He's number 32 on IGN's greatest comic book villains of all time. He's a mercenary, appeared in Teen Titans. Daughter Rose Wilson, probably not in this, but you can see his enhanced abilities. He's running around. He's Batman's physical superior, I guess, in some ways, but Batman always hangs in there.
And the context for this is Deathstroke is one of the assassins who's come to assassinate Batman. We presume here.
One of Black Mask's dudes.
And we will assume also that this is maybe the first time these characters have met. And it's probably going to be the case for a lot of the other folks we see in Batman Arkham Origins. People like Bane and Joker. Batman's going to be meeting them for the first time, so they don't have any history at this point. They just kind of know of each other's reputations.
We jumped around here for a while trying to figure out what this said. BR Technology Industries. We eventually settled on Burr, like it's cold. That's a cute little reference, if that's what it is. And if it's another reference in the DC universe, we were just testing you, and I'm glad you passed it. Now, some of the news that broke before the game came out was that before the game came out, before your preview came out, before you guys came back and were able to talk about it, before this trailer, that Deathstroke will be playable. Did you see this today?
We've not had that confirmed yet.
Oh, really? I thought it was confirmed.
There are a couple things they're not talking about. But yeah, you will be playing mostly as Batman in this game.
Oh, sure. I just assumed it was like challenge maps with Deathstroke. Well then, go read the rumor on IGN, which I clearly didn't. I just read the headline. I was like, all right. But now here's the other thing. He doesn't look that much younger here.
No, he looks pretty grizzled.
This looks like straight up Batman.
Yeah.
You showed me that, I would be like, all right, it's Batman from Arkham.
And that's my thing. Like, I feel like the developers had an opportunity here to tell the story of a younger, less experienced Batman.
Yeah.
A guy who's maybe not in full command of all the abilities you see here. But look at this. Like, this guy's obviously been at this a while.
Well, that's what I was talking to Goldfarb about when we watched it. This looked just like regular old Batman, Batman Arkham City gameplay. But my reasoning behind it was, even in Begins, right? Like, he's still a master assassin. He still went through League of Assassins, League of Shadows. Like, he should know how to defend himself. But yeah. It is weird that, like, what was the point of this, really dialing it back, other than we wanted to tell another Joker story, but didn't, we killed him. Spoilers. I usually should say spoilers before I say the spoiler.
Right.
But
yeah, the spoiler tag usually comes before the spoiler itself.
I think you should know you're going to get spoilers in rewinds. But before we go any further, you were talking, it's been back and forth a little bit, Batman not played by Conroy in this. Even though Kevin Conroy at Dallas Comic-Con said, I've been working on a new Arkham game for 9 or 10 months, and there's a big brouhaha right now as far as what that means. How do you feel about that, Steve?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it could be that there's another Arkham game that's coming out on another platform maybe, or some DLC or something where we get to see a little further ahead where it makes sense to have Kevin Conroy do the voice. But yeah, Roger Craig Smith is Batman in this game. So.
And he's Ezio, if you didn't know.
Yeah, he's Ezio. He's a couple other folks. I mean, he's all over the video game industry, and it does a lot of animation work as well.
Troy Baker confirmed as Joker.
And Troy Baker is Joker. We actually got to hear and see a little bit of that.
Oh, really? How was that? I haven't heard anything about that.
It was good. It was really good.
Give me your impression.
My impression?
Yeah.
His let's see. I'm not gonna do the full justice for the Troy Baker version.
Okay.
Next time he's on Up and Noon, though, we should definitely get him.
That's no problem. We can get that in a heartbeat.
This is interesting, though. You're not seeing this. I can't confirm that this is explicitly what's happening here, but I do know that the enemies in the game now can counter Batman's moves.
Oh, nice.
That was one of the big deals in the original Arkham Asylum game, where you'd fight, you see the little lightning bolts come over the guy's head, I need to hit that Y button on the Xbox, or I guess it's a triangle button on the PS3.
Correct.
To basically counter the move that's coming up. Well, now there are martial artists in the game that can do that to you. So you've got to spot those counters as they're coming. It's really inventive. It took me a while to get used to it and to kind of read the signals in the game that let you know that this is what was happening. But they're counters for counters now. So the combat system is still a little button mashy, but there's a little extra layer of sophistication on it. Yeah, and it looks like this type of fight with Deathstroke. That's the kind of place where that would be used.
And that's not ever like special kinds of thugs on the street that are
mostly
doing
like the martial artist type guys, right?
Okay.
So your rank and file guys won't be able to do that, but every once in a while you'll come across like a ninja who's working for Black Mass, say, and he's going to be one of these guys you need to look out for those counters with.
All right, interesting. So right here, Deathstroke's blade starts getting shot apart. Turns out why? Because Deadshot is across the water here, not happy with him. Another assassin from the DC universe. Deadshot's real name, Floyd Lawton. There he is.
That's not a very intimidating name. I see why he went
Floyd
with
Lawton.
Deadshot.
That's why he's always been like a B-lister. Like it's interesting he made the trailer. It's like, oh man, really? Because when I was watching this, I was expecting, at least at the end even, a Joker laugh or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like a big, here we are. Because even Deathstroke, like to comic nerds like you and I, are like, oh, that's really cool that he's in the game. But I think your general consumer, I don't think they really know that Deathstroke shot Kid Flash in the knee with a shotgun and did all this cool stuff. There's a good look at Gotham across the bay.
They're going to be looking for more of the mainstream guys like Two-Face or Bane or Joker, somebody that has some visibility based on the Christopher Nolan movies.
Yeah, exactly. The rogues gallery among the chief characters.
Yeah, or Penguin, Catwoman, somebody that's well known, sort of among the mainstream.
Right. Black Mask has been making his way up though. It's nice to see him because he was one of those guys that we knew was coming forever, right? Like in the first rewind we ever did for Arkham City, we saw Sionis Industries. He's Roman Sionis underneath that mask.
Right.
And then we were like, oh, we're going to see him. And then you got like one frame of him getting the crap beat out of him at the gate of Arkham. And that was like it. You're like, oh, well, all right. That's all there is for Arkham City. But it's nice to see him here. Another guy, he is, what did we put him at? Number 43 on IGN's top 100 comic book villains of all time. So he's a big deal.
That's pretty big.
He's a big
43.
deal.
It's awesome.
And I mean, what works for him, right, is that he's like this Gotham mob boss, right? He's like one of those intimidating bad guys, like that hangs out, sends out 8 horrible assassins to kill you, all these things. But as you're about to see here, not afraid to get his hands dirty here. He checks in on this guy. You think he's gonna be like, "You okay, bro? You're wearing my mask."
Right.
I assume we're bros, and he's like, "We're not bros. I'm gonna hit you with this rusty 2x4." That's a painful way to go, Steve. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
No, I didn't know that. He's one of these guys that was a crime lord. Like, it makes sense. Because I never could figure out, like, why would anybody work for the Joker? Why would anybody work for Two-Face? But this guy, at least, he's got henchmen, and it makes sense that he's got this criminal network.
He's got all this money, right? Like, he's able to afford the nice suit and throw it around. You imagine that, you could work for him and make it out and be all right. Whereas, Joker's just going to eat your face. Right there, we have the Amertech bullet. If you go and check on this, obviously, it's a super high caliber round for that.
Right.
They're this fictional company in the DC universe that makes munitions, whatever. Funny thing, Steel, John Henry Irons used to work for him. So there you go.
I actually didn't know that. I learned something on this too. Now.
That was it. That's one of them. At least before New 52. Who the hell
just
knows
drops in the water. That can't be.
That's because he's young.
Right.
He's not the world's greatest detective yet. He's still learning as he goes. Oh, good lord.
But again, look at this armor here. Like, this to me is a Batman who's been at it a while. This is not the new Batman. So.
Yeah, but I mean, I still think it looks different enough, right? And it's it evolves into what you see in Arkham City, Arkham Asylum. But ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's the first trailer. Our first real glimpse at Batman, Arkham Origins. Good to see. Coming to PC, PS3, Xbox 360, Wii U, October 25th. Again, prequel, taking place overnight, one night, Christmas Eve. Black Mask got to kill him. Joker's in it. Steve says he's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, good. Well, hey, see, it is confirmed.
There you go.
I'm not crazy. I'm assuming this is going to be like the challenge map stuff, or maybe it'll be like, it'd be cool I guess if it's the Catwoman missions that fill in the gap. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was similar to like, hey, play as Robin. Remember when they did that? That was a big thing. You got some Robin missions. Nobody really cared though in the end.
I didn't really care about him
because he's Robin. You want to be Batman. You want to be out there in the open world doing stuff. You want stories content.
Yeah, the game's not called Robin Arkham Origins.
No. Ladies and gentlemen, for everything Batman Arkham Origins, keep it here on IGN as we lead up to that October 25th release date. Beyond.